Nanti mudah-mudahan materi yang diberikan bermanfaat untuk kita semua dan bisa menambah ilmu kita. Baik, mungkin itu saja yang bisa saya berikan. Terima kasih. Saya kembalikan ke MC.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Eto, for the forward from you. Before we go to our main session today, I'd like to introduce you to our speaker, Associate Professor Waidah Ismail. But before that, I want to ask something. Professor Waidah Ismail, how's your day?
I'm great. I'm happy. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then. Are you ready to bring this guest lecture?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's hear some words from Professor Waidah Ismail. From Professor Waidah Ismail, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So today my discussion is more on the lectures on the health applications in artificial intelligence. So this is my education background. So I did my diploma in UITM, Malaysia. Then after I complete my diploma, I continue my degrees in UK, University of Liverpool. I did my bachelor honors in computer science. So while after I finished my bachelor of computer science, I'm working. I'm working for almost 10 years. So in a banking, mostly in banking, as a security analyst, programmer, and quality assurance. So while I'm doing my work, while I'm working, I did my master's. So I did my master my part-time. So after I complete my master, then I joined as a lecturer. So that means I have an industrial background. So I did my PhD in UK also. So yeah, around 11 years, I joined around 2005. This is my areas of expertise, mostly on the AI. So today I know I'm aware that your subject is more on the object-oriented programming, is it? Object-oriented programming. So this is all the programmings that we have. So I started my programming long time ago with a Pascal. There is no object-oriented. So it's around 20 years, more than 30 years ago, more than 20 years, nearly 30 years ago, with a Pascal. Then when I studied C programming. So then COBOL. All this language don't have the object-oriented. But currently, Java, Python is the latest one, and MATLAB. I did my PhD in MATLAB programming. So the topic today is about the AI. Why AI? Because it's related with all the programming language. So if you want to develop the application on the AI, you need to have a very good programming language. Although there is a lot of tools nowadays, but you still need to know the syntax, the studio code. Do you know the studio code? The logic of the programming. So AI is related also with the programming. So before now, when you want to do the programming, at least you know what are the application required. This is the Python and Java. So what is the AI? Artificial intelligence is simulation of human intelligence processed by the machine. By natural intelligence displayed in the human animals, they are involved with a consciousness and emotionals. So this is what we have. But the machine is only on the simulation only. So whatever they say is AI is a prediction, but there is no emotionals. So when we are human, if there is we are more on the feeling, you know, the emotional part. This is the artificial intelligence, the timeline. So here is, we start AI is not latest, 1950, but currently it's 2000. 2021. This is the hot topic nowadays. So they start AI with a test the machine intelligence. Then after that, they do the chatbot. The chatbot is already exists in 1964, but currently most of the medical application using the chatbot applications. Then they have a robotic. This is the first robotic come out 1998. Then in 1999, they come out with the animals robot. It's a dog, pet dog. So in 2020, they already have a vacuum cleaner robot. But currently, people are start using it in 2020. It's almost 20 years. Now they are using, because during the 2022, maybe during that time it's very expensive. Now it's more cheaper. Then in 2014, they already have a person who using the chatbot, and 2021 they have a T. But nowadays 2020, I cannot remember, 2022 they start a Sophia the robot. So you are as a programmer, you will develop everything. Let me, can you hear?
I'm sorry, I think I didn't hear any sound, ma'am.
Can you hear?
No, ma'am, we cannot hear it.
Oh, is there any setting that I should do?
Maybe there's an option of sharing the computer sound.
Where is it?
In the share screen option, there's a sharing sound on the bottom left.
Oh, share sound. Okay.
Yeah.
Production.
Maybe.
Can you hear?
Humans and machines will
Yes, we can
unravel
clearly.
their realities
Okay.
into the digital sphere. Join us in these reflections on the uncanny.
This is the latest one, Sophia the robot. And also, if you can Google it, they have an interview also with a Sophia. So there is a lot of movies also impact on the AI. Maybe whether you are noticed or not. This is around top 20, like Blade Runner, they already start 2082, the AI movie. Westworld, 1973, Space, Moon. The Matrix is the famous one. It's related on the AI, Star Wars, Star Generation, Terminator, and there is one person, iRobot also. There is one person recommended. You see the hers, how the man falling in love with the artificial. It's not the real person. So that means the artificial intelligence, they already deploy it inside the movies. So this is the basic solution. Why the AI is a basic solution? For example, that one of them is that there is a prediction to find a royal customer and concentrate with them. So who is the frequent buyers? So if you are shopping in Lazada, you can see that they will recommend you what are the products. And also if you have a bank and account, there is a few account you open, they will call you. They will advise you there is a new promotion, new things, because this is what they can predict. This is the royal customers. This is high risk, and this is the low risk. That means the lesser away from the high risk is there is a reducing of the customers. This is the AI, what AI can do. But you as a programmer, you're required to do all these things, the predictions. And also the AI solution also in the medical health, and also in the normal, you have appointment, slot available and row available. This is more on the timetable. Timetable. Do you aware that some during your, if people have deployed the AI in the timetable, there is seldom crash. The classroom crash, the medical doctor is not busy, everything. Because in the class nowadays in Malaysia, most of them already use the timetable. Although you see it's only a timetable, but we have around 100 classes and more than 200 courses. So how they want to share it, the lecture rooms, with the people, with the tutorial, with the lab. Do you aware that in your timetable, you are seldom got this problem, the crash of the timetable, because they are already used, the AI solution, not only on the medical appointment, but in your classroom. So this is the one. And also on the AI solution, also they have a healthcare consultation and self-diagnosis. What is this? Do you in Malaysia? I'm not sure about in Indonesia. I think same thing happened. We have the applications during the COVID. We need to do the self-diagnosis whether we are COVID positive or not. We need to answer it, and sometimes we can check with the help desk. Do you know the help desk is one of the chatbot, the health solutions. And this is the one, health solution also, the home automation, personal digitals. This is AI solution. If you are away from your home and you forgot to close the light, you just mentioned close the light will be closed. This is what we call it smart home. So nowadays people are looking for the smart home because of what? To reduce the electricity also. If you are not aware, sometimes there is a smart home, they can detect it. If 10 minutes, 20 minutes, people in that room, they just shut down the light. This is based on the AI solutions. So if there is currently, they do a research for the old people. The old people, there is a sensor. If the old people fall down, they can detect it. This means the ambulance will come and rescue it. There is one study currently is doing. So you know this is the importance of the AI. So what you mean is AI, but who will do the behind of AI is programmer. Programmer, which is you all, who's doing the object oriented. So it's very interesting as a programmer. You can do a lot of things. So from the element of AI, machine learning, making decision based on the data and the past experience. A computer model can predict the data. Anomaly detection to automate the detect errors, unusual activities. Computer version from the images translate to the text. This is the element on the AI. And the natural language processing. Do you know that your handphone, you talk. Sometimes you said, I want to eat something, they will type up, I want to eat. There is an handphone, their voice. And sometimes when I'm driving, I think currently the handphone, if you want to make a call, urgent call, you just call the name, Ahmad. They straight away appear all the Ahmad names. Have you tried before? The contact persons, the call, then they will write and also spoken. Conversational AI more on the chatbot. Chatbot participants. Okay, this is but although they have a AI is a very good, but there is also potential risk. So when you do a development, you have to think about all the consequences, because there will be no bias on the can affect the results. This is what I'm doing. This is what I develop. Me and my student develop. This is what we develop. This is what we develop is a loan approval model discriminate by gender, use of bias of data. So if you want to develop an applications that want to predict, you have to omit the gender for this one. For example, if you are taking the gender, for example, in the data, there is a lot of female than the male. So they will predict the next person coming as a male and female, and the next person who want to apply a loan, they said, I'm a male, but they really rejected. They only accept the female. So you have to know what are the data is required. This is what we develop in one of the bank to approve the loan. So this is what there is a percentage. So we have to put in the score and whether what we suggest is approved or not. So this is a real life applications. Same thing, you have to, as a programmer, you have to think all these things. So potential risk also, error may cause a harm, wrong prediction. Wrong prediction. Wrong prediction will impact to the users. Okay, this is one application also we already developed using the visual reality. Rehab people is playing the game. Do you know inside the game there is a Wii applications and also do you know Wii, the PlayStation? Or only the normal game? So if you have normal game, you have a setting that we are in the which level? Easy level, medium level, or the high level. So when you rehab people, if you do a something that is rehab, but you setting as a high, this means it's very difficult game to play. So it will harm this patient. So this is a potential threat. So for example, this is the menu that we already developed. There is a graph, everything. This is come up with the graph. This is the one, the prediction. If this, if you as a programmer do the AI algorithm, you know what is algorithm, is it? You know, yeah. So your wrong prediction, what will happen to the patient? It will harm the patient. So if you as a programmer, you have to do a testing a few times. Make sure there is no error in your logic of your programming. So same thing, when we and my team did this type of the programmer, we do our logic. We understand the algorithm. You know what is the algorithm, is it nowadays? The logic go algorithm, then you have to do a development. This is the coding. So that's why before you do any programming, don't start coding first. Set a variable like I equals to 2, J equals to 4, X equals to I plus J, for example. No, you have to understand what are the logic. Begin, you need to have an additional, or what if X is a variable, input X, input Y, because you cannot do the hard coding. Maybe this is starts at 0, Y is equal to 0. This is the logic that you have to start off before you straight away do the coding. And one thing when you do a programming, I touch a little bit because you are more object oriented, you try to do big debug. Do you know debug? When there is an error in the programming, you do a debug. That's why you make sure that line by line, what are the answer? That is the debug. So that is the debug is to ensure that your programming is correctly. Give them output. What are the potential risks? data could be exports, medical data on the patient. Do you know when I did my research mostly on the medical data? Medical data is very critical because the data will be exports. There is one time a newspaper, there is I cannot remember, there is one guy who he is the world driver, Michael Schumacher, I think. I'm not sure whether you know or not. There is a Formula One drivers, a famous one last time. They went for a ski and also they got accident. And someone is hacking the personal data and blast into the newspaper that they cannot, that means they have injury in the leg, something. That's why there is a very important. Do you want to know everyone? Do you want everyone know about your disease? About your symptoms? No. Yeah. That's why the medical data is quite very important. Okay. When I touch back, why the medical data is very important during the COVID time. Do you know the COVID, even now also, you're doing at home, working, March 20 until today, hospital full with the COVID. Hospital is not safe, stay at home, and the power internet. So the healthcare information system is a process that used to help to improve effectiveness and efficiency on the healthcare. Basically, they can do data collection, store, analyzing using the computer software. Who is developed the computer software? You all. So what I show you today is more on the applications that you can write this application. So toward the healthcare, there is a such term, tele, and tele. What tele? That people are doing remotely. So you as a programmer also, me last time, we have to make sure that how the data been transmitted in secure. Because you are doing tele, people cannot go to the hospital. So especially on the rehab. That's why tele rehab. Why? Because currently they are using to face-to-face, but in tele-rehab, they need to continuous monitoring the technologies from the distance. So the medical doctors can view it, can see the progress of the patients. Allow the healthcare personnel, patient to encourage them to do the exercise. So this is the one. The architecture. This is the one, the architecture. This is the home. People is doing the exercise. This is the data in the cloud. And also download to the servers and to the medical doctors. So this is what we call it tele. So your case, how you want to do this connection? That's why you need to learn. I think in your batch also, in your subject also, you have a networking. Is that true? Networking? Do you learn networking? Not yet. There is a subject. There is how the data been transmitted. Make sure it's transmitted securely. So what we did, we only save the data movement here. Movement without the name. There is an ID, but no name, nothing. So all the patient name is here in the server because there is a firewall, everything. So this is more on the secure. That means if people hack, they only know the movement, but no name. So do you think that the movement is variable? No, because there is a meaningless. But if there is a name or your student ID from which university, it will be interesting. People are interested. So the potential risk, make sure on your solution may not work. Solution may not work to everyone. So this means your application should work to everyone. No bias. That means security and also solution. Okay, this is the one of the project I did on the serious game on the rehabilitation. It's not suitable for everyone. Why? This is the serious game. In the rehab, this is the simulation. This is the robotic. This is visual reality. So you know, this is what we call it serious game. But this is experiment sample. If you see the sample, only short person can play everyone. But amputee, there is a disease on the background, the back cannot play. And spinal cord injury cannot play. That means this sample, this serious game may only work not too suitable to everyone, but only work to a certain people. So there will be a limitation also, although they said there is a AI. So another potential risk, user must trust the complex system. AI-based finance to investment, the recommendation. What are they recommended for? So that means if you are playing the investment, so they said, please invest to a telco company for a 2 million. So can your user confident in it with the complex, or in terms of medical, you put in all your disease, or actually you got hepatitis B, or you got diabetes. So can you show that sure that means you trusted the system? So this is potentially for me. When I do firstly, when I come back after I finish my PhD in UK, they already have internet banking, everything. So when I come back to you from UK 2008, during that time is the restart the internet banking, everything. I did not use my internet banking for 3 years because what? I did not trust the system. So after a while, then I get the trust because everything is quite, for me, is everything quite stable. That's why users must trust the complex system. So you as a programmer, if you want to do the applications or system, you must make sure to get the user trust. If the user testing, if they are not happy, so how you want to get their trust to marketable your applications? So who is the reliable on the decision? For example, your application take an images for innocent person. Do you want that to be happen? No, can. So the innocent person. So who is the making the decision? Innocent person is convicted the crime based on the evidence on the facial recognition. That's the problem. That's the one. So have you seen one of the movie Minority Report? Have you saw this movie? Tom Cruise play the movie. So maybe you can see it is something like Minority Report is something like they can predict in the future. That means they predict that this person will kill someone in the dream, something like that. But they accuse that Tom Cruise is killing some people, but there is actually there is a noise, something like in IT they say noise, something like interrupt. That means the accusation is wrong. So that's the one is convicted a wrong people. So that means AI you cannot rely totally actually. So responsible of the AI, fairness. Treat all the people fairly. So if you want to do the application, make sure you treat you make sure that your population is captured 18 and above. For the example, handphone, mobile phone. So it's mainly the year 7 can use the handphone already. Because of what? Because they know how to, it's being captured. So they capture it fairly. Reliability and safety, testing and consistently the results. Make sure that when you do the application, make sure that your result is consistent. Not only that, if you test for the 10 user, only 8 user is working and 2 user is not. Only 5 user, the next round 5 user is working, 5 user is not. Because as a programmer, usually there is a problem when you do running a few times, looping, you forgot to clear up the cache. The cache memory. That's why sometimes you play, why suddenly you run 8 is okay and 2 is not. Then suddenly the same thing, 5 is okay, 5 is not. Try to clear up the cache memory, make it 0 or something. To initialize it. Why you want declaration I equals to 0? That means where you want to put it back to the 0 to initialize it. So as a programmer, this is quite important, yeah, to make a consistent. For privacy and security, data should be kept privacy and security. So because of what? AI using mostly the data. If you as a programmer, can you run something without data? No. You need someone to input your data. You need someone to test it with the data. So inclusional, there is no bias and include all data. When I develop the data for prediction, we include all the data. But when we include, we run a few algorithms to choose what are the best data that can be used. There is algorithm because in the first layer, we use all the data. Transparency, user aware of the purpose of the system and how it works. So if you want to do the data, if the transparency, make sure that you have the users aware about your system. What are the purpose of the system? My purpose of this system is to doing the chatbot. Chatbot is helping the patients. Oh, I have a disease 37, 38. I'm feel tired. I cannot smell things. Then you come out result. Oh, maybe you need to do a swab test. Or maybe you need to do a clinic. It's something infection your lung. So this is the one the user need to know what are the purpose. So how it works. So accountability, especially a solution that meets the ethical and legal standard that the data use is not beyond required. So if you have all the data about the student, and suddenly you know one of the student is not maybe it's not the parents maybe there's one of the students is not located in your areas, and maybe it's located in your areas and you know the parents, so you tell your friends, oh, I know her, which is you already breach the ethical and the legal, because what, you know her from the data that you collect. So once whatever data that you collect, you cannot share it with people. Actually, if there is a name or anything, if it's not, the data is just number, it's okay. But the data is reflect the name and the IC pinpoint to who, you can't. Okay, this is the one. Most of the data I took it from the AI, Microsoft. This is the one I want to share.
Artificial intelligence isn't coming.
Can you
It's
hear?
here. It's the defining technology of our time. But it's human ingenuity that makes it so powerful. Jane started losing her vision when she was 12.
California Street.
She uses Seeing AI,
I crept down the
I
stairs.
crept down the stairs and out the door.
which enables her to read and navigate her world. Microsoft AI is helping farmers adapt to climate change,
We can use technology to help feed the world without wrecking the planet.
enabling wildlife conservation,
The ability to use AI really democratizes science. WildMe uses images from any source to help study endangered species.
and creating new ways for people with hearing loss to communicate.
I want the exact same information that my hearing friends have.
It's more than just imitating intelligence or sounding like a human. Microsoft AI is changing every industry, from healthcare
And now you can see these finite details, the relationship with many structures.
to engineering and telecommunications.
We are using artificial intelligence to change the way we are relating to customers.
AI lets us put people first.
The Microsoft tools really enabled us to breathe digital life into an iconic brand persona.
The product that we make is not a thing in a box. Microsoft AI empowers others to create experiences and potential. This is just the beginning.
Artificial intelligence, it's just opened up this whole world.
The future we invent is a choice we make.
So whoever has the iPhone, maybe you can install it the Seeing AI by Microsoft. They can detect it because we mentioned that just now for the blind people who cannot see, they just scan it. And there is another movie. It's the Korean movie named Startup. Have you seen the movie?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the Startup. It's more on the related on the AI. So you can see that how the grandmother, the eyesight is making weaker and weaker. That the one of the guy is implement the handphone using the camera. So if we imagine there is a pool in front of you, this is the medicine, they tie up the handphone at the door so that the blind people can see it. You know, you can understand that the blind people can see it, although they cannot see it, but the voice mentioned. Okay, there is another one, AI in the farmers. So now you understand why the programmer, as you all, is very, very important for the future.
Right now, artificial intelligence helps us meet the needs of today so we're prepared for tomorrow.
By 2050, we need to produce 60% more food. So how are we going to feed the world without wrecking the planet? Using Microsoft artificial intelligence, we can reduce waste and produce more food. Any grower will tell you every row, every crop is different. We can use Microsoft AI to make local predictions about light, wind, rain. This helps farmers know when to plant, irrigate, and harvest. It's making a difference.
Artificial intelligence helps farmers grow more while wasting less.
So this is our future. Who is our future? Is you all as a developer to make sure that they are for a better world. So you can see that the farmers can measure the water, the sun, to make sure that the production of the farmer more. So you are all the programmer, you are the youngs, we will help to make it a better future. So what are the machine learning that I mentioned that just now? Machine learning. Machine learning is one of the AI solution that can do a prediction more on the data collection. The required on the AI data, SMS, email, WhatsApp, social media, photos, and the videos. So currently, I'm not sure, but I think same thing, Indonesia and Malaysia. If you want to start working, they always mention that, do you know have a data scientist? Data scientist, data analytical. So currently in the Malaysia, the job data scientist and data analytical is very hot. It's very high. People are very demanding. People are looking because the data scientists and data analysis, they know about the data. They are trained using the algorithm. That's why you know about the algorithm, is it? Algorithm is something like pseudocode. So they can predict the data. So in the machine learning, they have a regression. This is the regression, how to predict the data. For example, you have the data based on the label and features. So this is the sun, the degree, weather is around 30 and the wind is around 20. This is how they want to rent a bicycle. In Indonesia, there is a lot of bicycle, is it? 10. This is 40. This is 20. The wind, this is maybe 5 because they are hot. 40, 25. This is 5. Then they plot it, the graph. Because in future, if there is around 20 and this is around 10, once they plot the graph, they can understand, oh, maybe 30 is required for the bicycle. So if you have a company to open it, a bicycle or anything, this is what we predict. Using a one line and plot it. Or for example, the wind, and here what we did the level. This is how the label, usually the features, for example, the label is your name. For example, okay, this is Ali. So this is how you describe Ali. Ali have a small eye, have a long hair. This is the features. This is the features. This is the label. So it shows that this one 10, this one 5, this one 5. This one is maybe 30 based on the prediction. So you understand which is the features, which is the label. So there is also a classification. So classification is a supervised machine learning techniques that the data include both the features on the label on the model to fit the features. So classification, the easy classification is in the Lazada. Lazada, do you in Indonesia there is a Lazada, is it? If you choose cat game, cat toys, you choose cat toys, you can see below it recommended a few cat toys. Can you see in the Lazada? So that is why they mentioned a classification. What are the cat toys? Another one is Netflix. In Indonesia, there is Netflix, is it? Is it? So there will be, you see one movie is fighting. So there is a recommended all the fightings movie. This is recommended, but based on the classification. So they are the AI can predict what are you like. Similarity suggested. This is the one. For example, in the medical, this is the data that we have. That means we can predict this one maybe have a diabetes one, scoring 8 diabetes, 0? No. So in future, there is a data mentioned that 1 to 5, 80, 100, 85, when the scoring is shows that 10, maybe this is a without the by diabetes 0. So that means this can predictions. This is what we already developed for the diabetes, for the predictions. So prediction whether this patient is a diabetes or not. So if we have a new data, we can predict it. That means we have a history, the data. That's why they mention it. They train the data first, predict, supervise. They already have the data. They want to predict the future. The clustering is different. Clustering, there is a group based on the similarity. So for as based on the unsupervised, separate the item into the cluster, and they did not know the previous cluster. So for example, you have a flower, something like this, 4. But you have flower here 4, but this is red. And you have flower here 5, and here is 5 also. So if you want to do clustering, they count it for 1 cluster. 1 cluster. This is what you can predict. And also you also can cluster it based on the color. Maybe this is 1 cluster and this is will be 1 cluster. So there is no, they have no previous data. That means you have the data, you just do the clustering. Okay, the anomaly detection. You know, in the early beginning that I mentioned the principle of AI, to detect unusual pattern and might indicate fraud. This is the one. Is that simple to do? That means everything is lock. Suddenly something is 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. Oh, this is unusual data. They come out with the seatbelt. And in nowadays, in the car, automated car, there is a seatbelt beside me. Sometimes when a ladies always put a lot of things at the seats beside her driving. So sometimes when I drive, the seatbelt is blinking. You know why? Because they thought, because of the heavy things, my handbag, everything. So they thought there is another person sit beside me. So you have to wearing the seat belt. Because what? They can detect it. So your algorithm sometimes can detect everything okay, but don't know fraud. But maybe you can alert. There is a fraud happening. So you have to alert the people. That is one of the features. Okay, this is a computer version. Computer will use a processing using the camera, digital video. This is how the computer read your video. Do you know that when you take a picture, sometimes they are tagging, tag who. They know that how they do it. They got this scenario, imaging, this is the pixel. The pixel is 255, 255, 255. What is the 255? Is the red, R, green, blue. 255 is the range of color. 0 is, I cannot remember. 0 is gray, white, or 1 is the dark. So in between here, maybe there is a gray, light gray, everything. How we can see the coloring? Because these three is overlapping to each other. So inside the images, when you take the picture, so you translate in the computer, this is the one, how the computer is reading based on the pixel. Based on the pixel. So in the computer version, there is a few items. Image classification, train the machine learning model of their content. When you mention the image classification, they will classify it. This is the one. So it's something like this. You can predict it. It's a tiger. They classify it. So another one is object detection that classify individual object in the image, that location in the box. This is the one. So do you know the social media? Facebook. How the Facebook detect it? When you take a picture, you upload the Facebook. If you change to the tag, they will, your friend picture, they will box it. And they will suggest it, the name. And the name is actually, most of the name that I put is 100% the guy name, this person name. So that means how intelligent the Facebook. You as a user, you just using it, you did not think that there is one of the artificial intelligence part. So this one, they predict it, the car, this is the bicycle, and this is the dog. So this is the image segmentations. Individual pixel of the image classified according to the object that they are belonging. That means they are colored. Blue is what? Riders. So blue is the riders. Green is what? Green, vegetation. So how they do the images segmentations? They segment it. This is the tree. They color all everything. This is the tree. So image analysis. What is image analysis? Create a solution, combine the machine learning model and image analysis, extract the information from the image. This means they analyze the image. Oh, this is the bird. This is the human, the dog. Sometimes they can make a sentence. Human walking with the dog. So this is the image analysis. You got the image, then they analyze the images. This is the one. Application on the social media. Object detection and located the human faces in the images. The object detection or located on the human images. This is the one. Is that true on the Facebook? You can tag. When you put tag, they will suggest it the name. In the Instagram, I only have the Facebook and Instagram. I don't have a TikTok or Twitter. So face detection, the face detection analysis using the AI, human face in the images and the video. Face detection involves the regional of the images and contain the face. Face extraction can predict the age of the person. For example, this is a face recognition in the building. This is the phone. To unlock the phone. Do you know that nowadays there is features, handphone, to unlock it, you just put your images. Is that true? Sometimes it's your face or your fingerprint to unlock. Okay, one thing in the Grab, I think the whole world Grab, because there is a lot of crime. So the Grab, before you book the Grab, they ask the Grab to take the pictures of you. There is another feature, that means once you take a Grab in the Grab pictures, then you can take a Grab. Because for the safety of the Grab also. Because when you book, you did not know who is the person, whether this is the real person or other people is you booking the Grab. So this is the one. And there is one application there is one application I go through. I visit one of the company. For the images, they can predict you are smiling and your age is around 30. Smiling and 30. So this is happening that this company is trying to do a robot like Sophia. So because Sophia can predict your age whenever they can do on the face recognitions. This is your age. This is the unlock the handphone. You now you see the importance of the technologies nowadays. In the social media, this one. I cannot remember. This is one of the Hong Kong, I think, China. Cannot remember this. I know that he's good in the Kung Fu. This is Mike, the Facebook creator. Facebook recognition can use to automatically tag and know your friend in the photograph. So if you, sometimes they only appears one name only. They say they can suggest it who is the person. Another one is intelligent monitoring. This is one of my students trying to do. My final year student. Final year student try to do alert on the driver tiredness. What he will do? He put a camera inside the driving. They take the pictures. So if you right now, if everyone who open the cameras, if there is, I think there is a lot of algorithm nowadays. You try to take your pictures, it shows that you are sleepy, you are tired. This one is intelligent monitoring. There is in US there is a lot of features. They take your pictures. Then if you are tired, they try to make it alarm to reduce the accident. It happened to me one day when I drive in UK. You know that the UK is time different is around 8 hours from Malaysia. So Malaysia actually at night, UK in the morning. So I feel so tired and I drive the other side of road. And until I realize there is a horn, then I pull back the car. So it's quite dangerous. So currently they are doing this drive. That means what my student is doing is only alert, but there is a lot of currently the applications, the alert, try to alert and try to suggest that this driver should take a rest for 5 or 10 minutes rest. So there is the applications. So maybe you are now in the year 2, is it? Year 2, is it? Third semester, is it? So you have another 2 years to groom your programmer skill. Maybe you can come up with all this application that I mentioned. Maybe during your final year project, maybe you can develop something like this. Another one is missing person. There is a public cameras, facial recognition to identify if the person is the missing. So do you know that in the airport, there is a lot of cameras. That means it will take the pictures. So it shows that they have a picture recognition also. This the one is useful to enter the kiosk where the people hold their special entries. So if you detect the cameras, the pictures, you can go in. Pictures, then you can walk in. So this is all the features. Sometimes they say that image processing is when I did my PhD based on the images. So when I run it, when you do images, you have to use a very good CPU. Do you know CPU? Processing. Because the images will take a lot of the processing time. This is the one. Another one is optical character organizations is to detect the text. This is the one. So they try to detect the text. Okay, the importance of the vision. Data collected is a lot. Good example is smart driving and smart car, and how they are self-driving. They ask the computer to drive it. And this the one, same thing in the startup movie is stand-up Korean. If do you remember that one scene, if everyone has seen the startup Quick K Korea, there is one scene that they are driverless, self-driving smart car. There is a cat. Then the car slow down because the car can sense the motion detection, and there is a image crossing the road is a cat. You know, this is the smart car. So one day, maybe another 10 or 20 years, maybe we have the self-driving car. So that's means you sit in the car and sleep, and suddenly you arrive at the destination. So in the reading also, reading the text, natural language processing. For the reading text, they have a natural language processing, one of the AI algorithm. So the computer vision can read the text. OCR can detect the letters, numeral, and punctuation on the text. This is the one. So the text understand the written and the spoken language. So NLP is analyze the text document, extract the key, recognition, and separate it. For example, because there is a lot of the sentence, they only can take it. What are the important? The important is elephant, the door, open. They try to categorize it. So do you know that when you have there is a one tools currently where you scan the text. I think there is a lot of application nowadays in the handphone. You scan the text, they can read the text for you. You try to install it. You scan, then they try to read it. There is actually this is good on the blind people or the people who cannot see clearly, because my experience or my research or contribution mostly on the rehabilitation. So that's why I always read what are the good technologies for the rehab. So this is the one. Another one is sentiment analysis to determine how positive or negative language use the document. So do you know that the review, once you review, when you buy the Lazada product, you review it. You put a lot of text. So from the text, the sentiment analysis can analyze the text and to separate it whether it's positive, negative, or neutral. This is the one. Positive, good service for all the affordable price, and definitely we book in again. So sentiment analysis, we see the great service, affordable price, and booking again. So for the natural, to book at the hotel, negative, horrible services, the room tidy and unpleasant. So who will categorize it? It's not the, okay, if for example in the booking.com, there is a lot of people until around 600. Do you know that this is the application that they use, whether it's positive, negative, or natural? So one person cannot go through around 600. The review is a lot. So this is the one, face extraction, to evaluate the text of document or identify the main point of the document. So receive the review. We had a dinner here for a birthday celebrations and had a fantastic experience. We were greeted by the friendly hostess and taken to our table right away. The ambience was relaxed, food was amazing, the service was terrified. If you like a great food, intensive service, you can try this place. So the key extraction. So this text is a long. So what are the key? Intensive, service, great food, birthday, celebration, fantastic experience, table and friends, hottest dinner. So this is the one that they have. They have to identity the recognitions, the list of the entity and the text. So this is the one. So whatever if you want to do the text for your final year project, another 2 years, maybe you can start coding now, do the experiment. You can type the line and you can just pick up. What are in the sentence, what are the best showing that is a positive, negative, or natural. So this is the one, interpret a spoken language, especially when you are going to overseas, you talk something, where am I? So if you are go to the Russian, they can translate you. You know, I've been to Korea, I've been to Japan, not in the Tokyo, it's outside. They are sometimes difficult to understand English. So, for me, last time we don't have, I don't have all these things. I just make it sign language. But maybe nowadays I can try using my handphone, speak in my language, and maybe it translate to show to the Korean or whatever. Or maybe the Korean can speak and translate it. So to accept a vocal commands and provide the response, speech recognitions, the ability to detect and interpret the output, the spoken output, the speech synthesis to generate the spoken output. Okay, this is the one. The automatically translate. Translate the spoken and writing phrases between the language. Access to 60. You know, this is the name, but this is how they translate. So why is the translation is important? To remove all the language barriers between the two people. Translate two words to consider word of target language. Must able to understand the semantic contents used. So this the one. Text and speech translations. Text translation can be used to translate a document from one language to another. Translate image combination from the foreign governments, ability to translate the web page. Translate speech translation is to translate a spoken language directly or sometimes translate from the immediate text. So if you see the website, do you know the website? So sometimes in the website, if you go to the English, they will translate to English. Sometimes I went to website in China, I have to translate in English. There is auto translations. So conversation interaction, the language understanding. There is a language understanding. The conversation translation to application is digital assistance. More uncommon, the specific scenario can result the human-like interactions. Solution to a customer support application, reservation. Interpret what are the input is saying. Okay, this is the videos that I would like to share. The smart technology sometimes is not that too smart to be used.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
I want to inform that the time has passed more than 60 minutes. So if it take long, is it more than take long?
Yeah, I just show the video for a while. Wait. Okay.
Slow down.
Slowing down.
Anchor down.
Anchor down.
And stop. Fan.
Fan.
Peel shrimps.
Peeling shrimps. Rotating for maximum sun.
Hey, boat, start
Wrong voice command.
Hey, boat, start
Error.
Hey, boat, start
Sorry, I don't understand. Fun.
Oh. Hey, Miriam. Good bra? Hey, boat, start engine, boat.
So you know what happened to that movie? It shows that they cannot hear the command because of the eagle. So sometimes the English translation, the English understandable, also there will be a problem. There is another one.
Open door.
Door open.
Radio on.
Playing radio.
And do lights.
Lights on.
Protein shake.
Making protein shake.
New York.
Loading New York. Set speed.
4.
4.
6.
6.
Child of 16.
16.
4.
Error.
16. 4.
4.
16.
Correction. 16.
Hello. She was too young. Oh, hey, Miriam. Good bra? And I was too young to know.
Up.
999 down.
Lights down.
Only 16. Only 16.
4.
And from one classic to another, this is Summer of 69.
69.
So from that video, there is a noise happening. When they are running, they are looking for the movie. This is the last one.
Nokia introduces the new Nokia.
Excuse me, ma'am, the video doesn't show up.
The new heart of the
Play jazz.
Playing jazz.
Smoothie.
Making smoothie.
Calendar.
No meetings today. Remember, dentist at 9:30.
Fire off.
Fire off.
Open door.
Door open.
And we're gonna do one more.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear the music?
Wrong voice command.
Open door.
Wrong
We can hear
voice
it, but we
command.
can't see the video, ma'am.
Open door.
Repeat that.
Open door.
I didn't understand that.
Hey, open door.
Play on the floor.
Get over the door. Open the door.
Wrong voice command. Error.
Hey, Miriam. Good bra? Open door. Open door.
So this is a limited of the technologies, because if you have something, you pull out the toes, everything. This is one of the smart. I think we already have a 50 minutes of the slide. So is there any question actually? Do you want to see about the USIM? This is a conventional. Around 50 minutes. Do you want to see about USIM? Do you want to see USIM? Because I have another 50 minutes only.
Yes, ma'am, we want.
I will share about USIM, the university in USIM. This is my university.
The Islamic Science University of Malaysia.
is the 12th public institution of higher learning based in the state of Negeri Sembilan, Malaysia. At USM, we embrace the philosophy of integration of revealed and rational knowledge and virtues, which become the bedrock of an outstanding generation and knowledgeable society. The integration of revealed and rational knowledge, embedded in our 86 academic programs, rooted in our 9 faculties traditions, instilled in more than 12,000 students, and imparted across the globe by more than 22,000 of our alumni. Our research niche focuses on the social and economic well-being, through which we aim to improve the quality of life. We aim to become a global, high-impact Islamic institution by the year 2022 that is globally recognized and locally engaged with our stakeholders and society, by which we seek to find solutions to social, cultural, technological, and economic challenges. We commit to the perseverance of Muslim identity and virtues underlying in the human sciences, building on 5 core values: valuing academic excellence, professionalism, and integrity. The integration of revealed and rational knowledge in human sciences at USM emphasizes on 5 key areas: health and social well-being, sustainability, diversity and inclusivity, cybersecurity and digital well-being, and knowledge for change. Our medicine and health scientists are steadfast in seeking the cure for cancers and drug addiction, neurological, cognitive and physiological challenges, seeking to find solutions to problems related to obesity, nutrition, and food biotechnology. Our scientists in dentistry also committed to gaining measures to improve dental and oral health. Our mental health and counseling clinics are devoted to helping students, staff, and communities facing challenges. Our sustainability agenda aims toward resilient communities. Manifested in our research and community initiatives, we combine revealed and rational knowledge with empirical studies and human capability to develop a balanced society and environment. Human sciences at USM engage with diversity and inclusivity agenda, focusing on people with special needs, children, young people, elderlies, and minorities. Our scientists at the Center for Disability Research are highly committed to the knowledge development of people with special needs. Our philosophies on diversity and social inclusivity, bolstered in research and community engagement relating to indigenous people, research into communication, major languages, education and culture, religious harmony, and Islamic management. Our concerns for social well-being and justice, manifested in our activities, organized by devoted academics, showing high interest in research areas related to peace, justice, conflict resolution, governance, and social well-being. From legal and Sharia perspectives, our concerns for socio-economic well-being, also inherent to the diversity and inclusivity agenda, aiming at eradicating poverty and improving quality of life. Human sciences at USM also focus on cybersecurity and digital well-being. These initiatives not only aiming at enhancing human interactions, personal and professional development, but also contribute to create a safe environment for teaching and learning, entertainment, and co-creation. Our research into big data, risk management, artificial intelligence, and the Internet of Things are paramount to the socio-economic well-being. Human sciences at USM also committed to cultivating knowledge for change, working hand in hand. Our scientists, technologists, Islamic scholars, and industrial stakeholders aim at preparing students, academics, and the nation for change. These include the ways we respond to the pandemic, socio-economic, cultural, and technological challenges. This 5 key area is what we mean by integrating revealed and rational knowledge in human sciences. Together we aim to accomplish our goals in becoming the global, high-impact Islamic institution by the year 2022.
That's all for the USIM. This is a video of my research. Wait.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Associate Professor Dr. Waidah Ismail. I'm a researcher Artificial Intelligence in USIM. My research background focusing on data analysis and medical research. I start my research in blood images and dental images. And now my research concentrates on disability rehabilitation patients caused by example of strokes, spinal cord injuries, traumatic brain and others. Aligned with sensibility, the research focusing in remote monitoring patients' progressions, which is tele-rehabilitation and intelligent rehabilitation. The problem is where the patients have difficulties in sustaining the exercise from home and difficulties in driving to the rehab centers. Then need someone to help them in remotely travelling. By using tele-rehabilitations, enables remote patient monitoring by the medical doctors from hospitals. In addition, the innovation also aligns with Malaysia's initiative on green technologies reducing petrol. The data were collected in Perkeso Rehabilitations Melaka for USIM to perform data analysis. As the integration NACLI and ACLI will make the patients comfortable performing at home with their mahram and reveal their aura with limitation.
MIRA is a virtual reality rehabilitation which benefits in improving motivation and bring excitement through the games. The exercise games in MIRA are focused in both upper limb and lower limb, so it can be played by numerous types of medical history such as stroke and spinal cord injury.
My role in the project is in using artificial intelligence, machine learning and optimization methods to design personalized setup in the MIRA platform. MIRA is a platform that uses EXA games or virtual reality games for physical rehabilitation. They have some initial setups, but what we try to do with machine learning is to design personalized setups for each patient rather than using general ones that apply to everyone.
As you know, MIRA rehab can be used in all phases of rehabilitation. I would like to share a few setting parameters that can be used to patient accordingly. Once you selected the exercise for the patient, you can go for the option More Settings here to determine the movement tolerance and duration of the treatment for the patient.
Okay, that's all. Is there any questions?
All right, because the time is limited, can we open up to the Q&A session?
Yeah, sure.
All right, now we reach the Q&A session. So if you have any question, you're allowed to raise them in any minute now. Please kindly either drop the question in Zoom chat box or raise your hand on Zoom to get a chance to ask yourself right now. Because there is only 5 minutes left, we only open up to one question, unfortunately. So if is there anyone to ask about the lecture about this?
How do you find it? Sultan, Rafi, how do you find it?
You mean by your lecture today?
Yeah.
To be honest, it's very fun and educating by me. I mean, for a college student like me, I mean, artificial intelligence is like very amusing.
Yeah, but they also artificial intelligence cannot stand by his own without the programmers.
Yes, we will learn it very soon.
So although I know that your class is object-oriented class, but I try to relate the applications that what are the programmer required.
What are the programmer required?
Because the is to develop the AI, you need to know the algorithm, but to know the algorithm is another issues. But who will develop the algorithm? Is programmer.
Yes, it's the programmer.
So that's why in my team, there I will ask them how your programming skill.
Do you asking me personally?
Yeah.
By far my programming skill is like it's not very good, but it's not that bad too. So I'm kind of used to it actually.
Okay, but tips in programming, you have to do a lot of exercise.
Yes, I will.
You have to do a lot of exercise because when you do the coding, every time you do the coding, there will be different error coming. Every day is considered new for us. So as a programmer, sometimes I know that if you want to do the program, sometimes you feel a bit down because you did not expect the output what you want. There is a lot of errors, and sometimes you will feel demotivated. But there is a part of learning to be a good programmer. The more you come across the error, the more you learn. Because when I study, I come across a lot of errors, but when I working, oh, I know how to solve this error because I already go through the error before. So is there any question?
Guys, do you have any questions to ask before the meeting ends and we come to the photo session?
Yeah, because there is another 2 minutes.
Yeah, there's also 2 minutes.
Yeah, to become a good programmer, you have to put your passion. You have to love programming. Then you will learn. If you say, I hate programmer, I hate programming, then it won't solve it. Because as a computer science, you are computer science, is it?
Yes.
Or information
systems.
Information system. If you are working, you need to have a programming. That is a basic skill. Programming, database, networking. That is all you learn, is it?
Yes, is it?
Yeah. And also another part is a system development.
All right. Thank you for the advice, ma'am. But we only have 1 minute left.
Yeah,
and
maybe you can take a photo.
Can we go to the photo session, please?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. For the participants, can you guys on cam so you can have a photo with Professor Waidah Ismail. But before that, I was having some share screen.
Okay.
Please. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to search screen the certificate of this event. Yes. Okay, maybe we can start by the photo session.
Okay.
Okay, maybe Fikri can start the counting to start a photo session. Fikri's time is yours.
Okay, while waiting for our friends to open their camera, please let me take the photo session with the Associate Professor Waidah Ismail with her certificate. Let me count it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. From right now, we will take photo session for all of the participants. Please, for all of the participants, please turn up your camera. I will start the photo session by 10 to 32. I will wait for another 1 minute to you guys to open your camera. Okay, because I will wait for some few seconds. Okay, because it's already 1 minute already. Please let me guide the photo session. Slide number 1, 3, 2, 1, cheese. Slide number 2, 3, 2, 1, cheese. And the last slide, number 3, 3, 2, 1, cheese. Okay, thank you. I will give the time back to the master of ceremony.
Okay, thank you so much for inspiring and insightful talk and presentation from Professor Waidah Ismail. I hope we can just be as smart and brilliant as you. And also a huge thank to you, Professor, for being with us today, despite her busy schedule, and Mr. Eto for making this guest lecture possible. We're all inspired and motivated to do even better as students. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
To all participants, thank you for attending our guest lecture today. For those who are waiting for the feedback from Link, the link is in Zoom's chat box now, and you may fill it out if necessary to get a certificate.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you Pak Ito.
Oke, sama-sama. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Kita jumpa lagi nanti. Bye.
Oke, bye.